Hello, I'm back with another horror game. I found it on Steam. It's called Dagon. I know absolutely nothing about it, and I just hope that I don't soil myself, as always. So, let's just press start and see what happens. Dagon is a faithful, interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here. Movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. It's coming back to me. Why I decided to grab this, I think. Yes. Let's get going.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Okay. During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey, others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder sign. How do I focus my eyes? Oh, it's right click to zoom in, I guess. Okay. Yes, it is. Indeed. So, what do we got here? We're in a tiny room. Oh, we actually don't get to walk, looks like. A very messy desk. Well, I say very messy. I've had a messier desk than this. It's not currently messier, but it certainly can get that way. I doubt I'm alone.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Oh gosh. Don't do that, mate.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
Okay, he's addicted to pain meds.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Okay, so what else we got here? But yeah, he's not a happy fellow. Having to numb the pain with morphine. Poor guy.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
This is the German sea raider it's talking about, this boat, the ship. Where are we? Are we on... We're on another ship? Or is this a dock? I am not quite sure. I can't turn all the way around. I can just look to my, my most left and most right. Yeah. But it looks like the sea is surrounding us, right? So we're on another ship, maybe? Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. Okay. And we can do something with this over here.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Okay.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
So, to kind of recap, he was like a prisoner of war, at least for a short while, but was able to escape on a little boat. With a small amount of supplies. Is that what this is?
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Okay. So we're in our teeny tiny boat, just nothing but water as far as we can see. And we don't know where we are.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
So no, like landmarks, no nothing. We don't really have a clue where we are. That's not a good spot to be in. Anything else to look at here? We still can't move. Yeah, you mentioned he's not the best navigator anyway, and I can strongly relate to that. Give me a map and a working compass. Give me a GPS. I'm still gonna struggle to find my way sometimes. Are we missing something here? What are we supposed to be looking at? Oh, something in the distance there. Hang on. Yeah, we can click. Okay.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
So we're just hoping to come across something at some point. Okay, what do we got here? This looks like a water container, right? God, I don't think I would fare very well kind of stranded at sea like this.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Right, yeah, it would be very lonely, right?
The change happened whilst I slept.
Oh God, what change? What change?
Its details I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Oh. Oh. What are we looking at here? Is this a baby kraken?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
What has happened here? What overturned our boat? Why are all of these... What are they? Squids? Is this what messed our boat up? Seems unlikely, right? But yeah, this is weird.
For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
But I love this guy's voice.
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
Yeah, nasty indeed. There were a lot of tentacles here. A lot of tentacles.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime, Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
It is dark here. Like I'm not seeing any sun. I thought it was nighttime, is it not? Oh. Is that the sun? Is the sun going down or the sun coming up, right? But yeah, there's not a lot of light here. And, oh god, like, I could do without seeing all these wiggling tentacles constantly. So, is our boat just screwed? Or, is it just overturned? Like, it seems stuck. Ugh, that was a very wet, squelchy sound.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
I would love to know, because I have no theories.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
Right.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Yeah, it's just this dark mud or whatever the hell this is.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Is this a fish?
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Yeah, what do you do if you just wake up here like this? You're like, well, what do I do now? The ocean's gone and I'm surrounded by fish and tentacles.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
We're gonna go walking through this shit?
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Right, we're gonna go look for the sea. Got it. I mean, what do we even do if we find it? Our little boat is stuck here in the mud. I keep trying to use WASD to move and we cannot. It's not that kind of game.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Yeah, I wouldn't have enjoyed trying to walk through it when it was that wet. We're just going to sink, right? Get stuck.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Can you imagine a smell so fishy that it's maddening? I'm trying to picture it. I guess off we go, trudging through the, well, this. Yeah.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
It's going to wreck our shoes. Like, it doesn't matter how much we let it dry. Look at it. It's not dry at all. Hey, of this. Can you imagine walking through this shit? You're throwing those shoes away when you're done with this stroll. Is this the hummock? Just a new word for me? What the hell is this? These look a lot like crab legs, but if these are the legs, how big is the crab? What the hell is this? What else could this be? What? Can't be a crab leg, right? Oh my god, in the background there's something even bigger. What the fuck is that? A whale or something? Just like a fin, right? Okay, well, I guess we keep going towards our big hill.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
I don't know, it does seem to be getting closer. This is gross. Is that a... What is this? Are these tentacles? Oh my god. I have a friend that would be super into tentacles like this. No. We won't out Yotun like that. And we just keep going. It is definitely getting closer, right? This guy's complaining, but we're making progress towards this thing.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
That's what she said? Maybe? I don't know.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult to get up, right? Maybe.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
Did you eat a load of cheese? Isn't that supposed to give you bad dreams? Or crazy dreams?
But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain.
Fantastically gibbous. I like it. I like that description of a moon.
I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Going up. We need to grab our pack first, yeah.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Oh no, this guy's not a flat earther, is he?
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined. Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
We're climbing down the other side. He seems to think it's not going to be a problem, but I'm not so sure. But let's have a go, I guess.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze,
I accidentally stopped that.
gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Okay, what is this object? I mean, I can't see anything, really. This guy's got good eyesight. Let's have a gander.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Okay.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Aliens?
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
The heck is this? Is this light or is this what he's talking about? Because this looks like I don't know what this looks like.
For despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
I knew it. It's aliens.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
What do we got here? A rock. Some mud. And the thing it actually wants us to look at, I can't make this out. What is it? I don't know how this guy spots these things. I don't.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Well, we found some water, at least. This is the sea? Maybe? Or what's left of it?
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope.
Maybe we can wash the sticky mud off of our shoes here. I would. Give it a go, at least.
Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
That is, squid. Or a kraken. Small kraken.
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those. A lot.
It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Yeah. The squid or octopus or kraken, we don't know. It's some kind of tentacled being. Let's have a closer look at... What is this? Let's have a close look at this.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré.
What's a doré? It sounds like part of a joke, right?
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Fishmen? Are these fishmen?
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
They are fishmen. I was kidding, but I see now that they kind of are fishmen, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Or paying homage at some monolithic shrine, which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
Don't be such a pussy.
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
Fishmen, I told you, they're fishmen.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
I don't want to think about it.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
Not necessarily strange size, though, is it? These things could be very large, just not to scale with the stuff depicted further up, you know, the monolith.
But in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
What do you see? Do I see it? I'm usually not very good at spotting these things. Oh. Is there something here in the water in front of us? Oh no.
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface,
Oh
the thing
god.
slid into view above the dark waters. Fiendish-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
This thing is huge.
I think I went mad then.
Just immediately went mad.
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
He went mad and just ran for it. I think I might have done the same, yeah. Just got the hell out of there. Back to the boat. Are we laying down? Have we fallen? Are we laying in this disgusting wet mess? Because I've done that before, am I right? No.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Back to the crab legs, or whatever the hell this is. But yeah, we have descended into madness.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Did we pass out? What's happening?
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
Oh. Were we rescued? Did we dream it?
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Did we dream it all? Did we just go mad on our little boat? Or did we really see all that shit?
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
It was Dagon, not Dagon. So we went to see a guy that knows more about the ancient fish gods.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Okay. This is a fancy place. Check out the clock. Oh, this music. It heard me and immediately stopped. So what are we supposed to be looking at over here? Well, that's not anything. Where next? Oh.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
The thing.
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Addiction, yes. Terrible thing.
So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
It's hard for me to imagine seeing something so out there that, like, my only option is to end it all, you know? This guy has seen some shit. It's actually going to make us grab the meds. Oh god, this is really quite dark.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
Yeah, it could have been like a delirious dream.
A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium. The end is near.
This is it. We're done. We're done with this world. We can't take it anymore. We've seen too much.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Oh god, is it coming to get us? It can't, right? It can't be here, surely. It's another dream. Maybe it always was. Do we dare check out the door?
It shall not find me.
I don't know, my man. It sounds like it might have found you. Oh god.
God, that hand!
Oh, the size of that thing. You know what they say? Big hand,
The window! The window!
big gloves. The window. Can't turn. I can't turn. Can't do anything. Oh, I can now. Can we get away? Can we get the hell out of here? Oh. Oh, that was a crunch. Oh my goodness. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon and check out our other games and DLCs. I enjoyed that quite a lot. That was short and sweet. It was immersive. But yeah, I liked that. I loved the voice acting. That guy had a really good voice for this kind of game. Yeah, that was Dagon. Thanks for watching.